Good morning, dear friends. Happy Tidy Up Thursday. If you are in need of tidying part of your house, whether it's your room or even if it's your bathroom counter, start tidying if you have time right now. If you're out and about, when you get home, come back to this video. Don't watch this video while you're sitting at your work desk. Pause it and then come back to it when you get home, and then play while you're cleaning your makeup vanity, or you're cleaning your kitchen countertop, or you're putting your washing in the washing machine. All those things that you've been meaning to do for the past 3 weeks, but you just can't bring yourself to do it. And for me, my activity today that I absolutely have to do before I'm allowed to do anything else is tidy up my room. This is a behind the scenes of, what you guys don't see of my life. You guys see a nice backdrop of a wardrobe with pastel clothes, and people might think, wow, Alex has such a nice house, and she's so tidy and her wardrobe's so nice. That's a set. It's fake. It's just a wall of IKEA units that I bought that I've hung specific clothes in, and everything else in the house looks like this. That's a bird poo. This is sometimes when I'm really low and depressed and I just don't want to get up and feed myself, but I know I have to eat. I just eat cookies. These are really high calorie, high protein cookies. They're supposed to be like a meal replacement when you're, working out. They're for bodybuilders or whatever. And I often have times where I literally I just don't want to get out of bed. I just don't want to move, for no reason other than my mental health is preventing me from doing so. So I just keep a stash of these meal cookies, 25 grams of protein, 4 grams of fiber. They're like 400 calories each. Sometimes I eat 3 of them in one go. That was a meal yesterday for me, because I just couldn't move. So then, at a point a few days ago when I actually could be bothered, you would have seen that day that I made the yogurt and the granola. I said that the electricians were here and I was too scared to go use my kitchen because there were electricians downstairs, and I was just going to have a cookie. But when I went downstairs to get the cookie, the electricians weren't in the kitchen and I couldn't see them, so I quickly put yogurt in a bowl with granola, and that was a few days ago, and it's still there. So I have a lot of cleaning up to do. That's a little bedside table covered in birdseed from when I was letting Errol sit by the heater and warm up. Speaking of Errol, there he is. No, that's not a statue. That's a very, very, very still bird. We let him sleep in here last night because I couldn't find any more lice on him, and I didn't want to pick him up and put him in a cage to sleep because I'm trying to build a relationship with him. I found that by letting him just watch us and watch our interactions walking around, he is becoming more calm. And you don't want to, when you're fostering or rehabilitating an animal of any sort, the last thing you want is for them to associate you with being shoved in a cage. So we're in the middle of building an aviary. We already have an aviary, but we're in the middle of building a really big aviary. So until it's ready, I'm just going to let him sort of pick a spot where he'd like to be. And he's not like Dumpling. He doesn't fly around like crazy. Dumpling goes back and forth all over the place. He just picks a spot and he sits. And I've got some water there for him and some seed, and he hasn't moved. He slept there. We woke up this morning. He just stayed there. So he's just going to observe us, or observe me, as I walk around and clean the room. And as a reward for myself, once I finish cleaning the room, it's a bit of a reward, but also it's a bit of a challenge. I'm going to drive to the grocery store and pick up groceries for breakfast. And the reason it's both a reward and a challenge is because it's a challenge in the sense that I hate leaving the house. I hate leaving the house. I don't leave the house unless I have to. Unless someone like my mother-in-law says, I need your help to go do this thing, I ask everyone to come to me. My parents come to me, my friends usually come to me. If someone's hosting something at their house, I can't bring myself to go to it because my home is my safe space and I find it impossible to leave. So groceries, I've been ordering groceries in for the past couple of years. Luckily, I'm privileged enough that I can afford to do so. I know that there's a lot of people that would love to be able to do that, but the added expense of delivery, they can't justify it. Luckily for me, because I have my YouTube channel and I have people that watch me every day, I'm able to make extra money from ad revenue, and I'm so privileged to be able to afford to get groceries delivered. But also, it is spending money frivolously. Like, I don't need to get them delivered. I am physically able to stand up, get in my car and drive to the shops. I choose not to because I don't want to interact with anyone. I like the experience of just being able to click on the items and they turn up at my door, sometimes on the same day. But because I'm trying to work on my anxiety and my social problems, I find it very, very hard to socialize, which a lot of people find hard to believe because they're like, yeah, okay, you find it hard to socialize, but you just uploaded a video and 1 million people watched it. Like, what are you talking about? Me on YouTube versus me in real life. When I'm on YouTube, I'm in my own home, in my own space, filming, and there's no one in front of me. And once I've filmed it, I don't mind that 1 million people watch it. That's fine. But you put me in a room of 12 of my friends and I'll have a panic attack because one friend brought their boyfriend and I don't know him. Like, that's, it's so weird. If I have a group of friends that I'm hanging out with and I know every single one of them and those friends are my comfort friends, I will be able to socialize. But if one of them brings a +1, I don't know what it is, I shut down. And I just suddenly, the presence of someone that I'm not comfortable around ruins me. So I hate going grocery shopping. I always use a self-serve checkout if I am at a grocery store because I don't want to have the interaction with people. And I never used to be like this. It wasn't until 2020, 2021, 2022 that all of this became so bad for me. I used to be fine. I used to look forward to going out to the grocery store and I used to really like the little interactions with people, have a chat with the checkout person. And I know that I'm capable of doing it again because when we were on holidays in Tasmania, we went to these markets in Hobart called the Salamanca markets, and the first half hour I was there, I was like holding myself like this as we were walking around and I wasn't making eye contact with anyone. And I would go up to a stall and say, oh, hi, could I have that please? And I wouldn't make eye contact. But then we came across one stall where the stall holder was just very chatty and I started to talk with him and he made me feel a bit more comfortable. And then from that moment on, every stall holder that I went to, I was like, hey, how are you? And how long have you been coming to Salamanca markets? And do you make these things yourself? Oh, wow, where are you based? You know, do you have an online store? And then just sparking up conversations. Like there was a lady that was selling bird products and I was talking to her about birds and I was telling her about Archie and she was telling me about her guinea fowl. And suddenly I just changed into a different person. And then Dan was like, wow, look at you. And he was like, gee, you're talking to everyone. Look at how lit up you are. Like you're so bright and bubbly. And I was like, wow, that's right. I can be a social person. I'm not scared of going out in public. I'm not afraid of people. It's my anxiety telling me that people terrify me. It's my OCD stopping me from leaving the house because outside of the house is different and scary and inside the house is it's my nest, it's my safe space. Even though it's messy, I know where every single thing is and I know that no one's going to bother me. I know that I can do whatever I want in this space and I don't have to ask anyone else's permission or I don't have to worry about what anyone else thinks about me. So I know that I can leave the house and I choose not to, so I'm going to work on that. So as a reward for cleaning up here, I'm going up to the shops and I'm going to buy breakfast that is actually recommended by one of my subscribers. So in our Discord, one of my subscribers from Cyprus said hello. She said hello from Cyprus, and I was like, Cyprus? And I thought, I wonder, this is so random, but I thought, I wonder what they eat for breakfast in Cyprus. The reason that I think that is because going to Japan was my first international unusual breakfast experience, and I love Japanese breakfasts. They'll serve fish and rice and pickles and like traditionese breakfast is amazing to me, and it really gets the gut going. It's really good for your gut health. And after having breakfast in Japan, I watched a video on breakfasts from different countries, and chuckled at the fact that Australia, England, America, we're all somewhat similar. Our breakfast is probably bacon, eggs, baked beans, toast, or yogurt, granola, fruit. Well, I feel like obviously it's not the same for everyone, but there's like a stock standard breakfast when you go to any Australian cafe. It's like pancakes, or breakfast roll with bacon and eggs, or shakshuka has made its way over here. I first had shakshuka in Israel, and I really, really liked it. For anyone that doesn't know, I went there for archaeology, and I stayed there for a long time. So that was my second international breakfast experience, and I was like, oh my god, breakfast in Israel is really good too. So breakfast in Japan is incredible. Breakfast in Israel. I went to New Zealand, and I was like, this is just like Australia but smaller. So the breakfast was pretty similar. But that's a text from Caitlin. Black velvets at Woolies. Oh, black velvet guys, black velvet allocations at Woolies. Anyway, that's funny because I'm literally going to Woolies for breakfast. I wonder if there'll be black velvets there. Anyway, what was I saying? Breakfast. So when my subscriber said hello from Cyprus, I was like, I wonder what they eat for breakfast in Cyprus. And I asked her, and she gave me a little typical breakfast, and it sounded so delicious, and I was like, damn, I could go for that. And then I said to myself, you know what? Yes, you can have that for breakfast tomorrow if you tidy up. So 12 minutes and 50 seconds into this video. Thank you for listening to my TED talk. I'm now going to start tidying this room, and then once it's tidy, I'm going to go to the shops. Okay, I take back what I said. I can't just get out of bed and clean. I'm going to have a cookie and go check on the doves, because I need to do something first. I just need some little thing first before I can start cleaning. So I'm gonna do it on camera, because otherwise I might just keep lying there. Look, making these videos I have done more in the past 20 days than I've done in years, because I'm like, okay, I'll turn on the camera and then I have to do it. All right, so here we are. Steve's on the ground down here. I scatter food everywhere so that they can forage. And here's little Mochi. There she is. Now, Mochi, I'm wondering if any eggs have hatched. So let's have a look. Hello, Mochi. Hi. Sorry, I don't want to distress you. Let me just have a little check. Excuse me. Babies! Babies! 2 babies! Oh my god, 2 babies! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god, 2 babies! Oh my god! 2 babies! 2! It's okay, Mochi. It's okay. Come here. Just quickly. Just quickly. Look, they must be just a couple of days old, but they're sitting in poo. Yeah, okay, look, that's all well and good, Mochi, but I'm going to have to clean out your nest. You can't raise babies in amongst poo. All right, well, that's another part of Tidy Up Tuesday. Sorry, Thursday. It's Thursday today. That's another part of today that I'm going to have to do. Clean up the poo so the babies aren't sitting in it. That's going to be the very first thing I'm going to do. Oh my God, I'm so annoyed I didn't check on them yesterday, because I think it was just the day before that I checked in their nest and they were still eggs. So if it was either the day before or the day before that, anyone that's been watching every day, can you remember what day it was that I showed you the doves with their 2 eggs? Because whatever day that was, they're somewhere in between that age. That if they hatched the day after, then they're like 3 days old, or maybe they just hatched today. But anyway, we know that they hatched this week. There's 2 of them. You guys have to name them. I'm leaving it on you. Leave a comment with literally just a name. Don't say anything else. Don't say like, actually, well, you can say, I think you should name them, but just make the comment just about the name. If you have anything else that you want to say, put it in another comment. But the comment that gets the most likes by 24 hours from this upload. So whatever time this video went live, 24 hours from that, whichever comment has the most likes, or the 2 top comments with the 2 highest amount of likes, those will be the names of the babies. Now, don't get too invested in the babies, because that couple has lost a baby already. I could intervene and assist them, but there's a lot of debate on bird forums about whether or not you should just allow nature to do its thing, or if you as a human should intervene. And at the moment, I let them have a go at having their 1 baby while they were in the aviary outside, and things didn't go well. So I've brought them inside now, and I've given them a different nest situation and all that. So I'm giving them another chance. If they lose one of the babies, and they just turn out to be really useless parents, I will have to take over. I've hand raised so many birds. Literally, you guys, growing up as a kid, I had over 120 birds. When I was a child, I used to breed budgies, parakeets, and finches and cockatiels, and I've hand raised a lot of baby birds, so and finches too. But yeah, like I said, I thought I'll give them a chance. They stuffed up once, so I'll give them a second chance now that they're inside, and if they stuff up again, I will have to take over. But fingers crossed everything goes well for the happy couple, because I think they have the potential to be very good parents. I just think that it was their first one, and they were young and naive, and they didn't really know how to look after it. So hopefully they learned from their mistakes, and hopefully they'll keep these 2 little babies alive. But anyway, I'm actually, look, there's no meta motivation. There's no better motivation in my life to get out of bed and go do things other than my pets. My pets motivate me beyond words. I was literally lying there thinking to myself, do I actually want to go to Woolworths? Maybe I'll just delete that part of the video. No one has to know. But then I was like, no, wait. I said it in the Discord server. I replied to her comments and I said, I'm going to get this for breakfast tomorrow. And then I think I said to everyone, make sure I do. So everyone from Discord is expecting me to eat my breakfast from Cyprus. But I'm not allowed to eat my Cyprus breakfast until I tidy my room. But birds come first, always. So look at little Mochi's head. She's like, hi, can I help you? You don't need to clean my nest, actually. It's comfortable, and I like the shit that's everywhere. She's just like her mother. I'm so proud of her. But just like my mother, I know what's best for her, and I'm actually going to swoop on in and clean, which is what my mum will do. My mum will turn up to my house, and she's like, oh, Alex, it's a mess. And she'll clean, and then before my OCD medication, I would get really angry, and I'd be like, don't touch my things! But now that I'm medicated and mum comes along and she's like, Alex, it's a mess, I'm gonna clean up. I'm like, okay. And I just accept the fact that mum is cleaning for me, and I just do breathing exercises. I just breathe in deeply, breathe out, and just let her do it. And it's honestly just been the biggest change for me in my life, allowing people to help me and accepting help. For years, I refused to accept help. I would get angry when people tried to help. But these days, I'm like, it's okay. Actually, I learned a really interesting thing from a video that I was watching about OCD cognitive behavioral therapy because I was considering undergoing it, but I'm not very good at getting help, and I'm not very good at doctor's appointments, making them, going to them. So I thought, if I can find some cognitive behavioral therapy on YouTube, that might help. And I did manage to find one video, and the guy gave some very good advice, which I'll tell you when I get to the car. Side note before I leave, look at my beautiful flowering bush here. This is called a yesterday, today, tomorrow. I can't remember the Latin name for it, but it's called that because when the flowers first bloom, they bloom purple. And then as they get older, they go different cut. They sort of, there's one up there. They become lilac, like that. And then they become white, and then they die. Yeah, so cognitive behavioral therapy for OCD. Basically, he gave this really good example of a breathing exercise. And he said, so OCD is a byproduct of anxiety. It's triggered by anxiety. And if you're anxious about something, your heart rate is elevated, you obviously feel stressed, you need to calm down. So my mum coming and trying to touch my things, trying to clean them for me, should be, oh wow, you know, thanks mum, that's very kind of you, thanks for giving me a hand. But instead OCD says, no, I know where everything is, so you need to leave it where it is. Mum says, no, it's okay, don't worry darling, just let me help, and starts touching my things. I start internally freaking out because now my things are being moved, and now what was order in my head, even though it was chaos, it was still order. And I will have order. Sorry, I just randomly yell movie quotes at people all the time, and half the time people have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. So anyway, I start becoming anxious because mum is touching and moving my things, and it really distresses me. And then the OCD gets worse because I'm stressed, and then I get really distressed. And this cognitive behavioral therapy video that I watched, he said, because the OCD is triggered by anxiety and stress, and the best way to relieve anxiety is breathing exercises, because slow and thought out, considered breathing lowers your heart rate. So you will notice when you're stressed, your heart rate is higher. And if you wear a Fitbit or whatever bit that you wear that tracks your heart rate, you'll notice that when you're stressed, your heart rate elevates. The lowest my heart rate has been when I was sitting and photographing the eagles while we were in Tasmania. And the highest that my heart rate was recently was when I was sitting with my mum and dad, and I was just talking to them about some of my mental health problems. And my mum and dad are incredible, and they're so accepting, and I can tell them anything, but that doesn't stop me from freaking out when I'm telling them. So my heart rate was like 102, and all I was doing was just explaining to mum and dad how my medication's been and how I've been mentally doing lately. So just talking about mental health stresses me, which is why I think I enjoy talking about it on video, because when I put myself on camera, my heart rate goes up anyway, because I'm kind of, you know, there's adrenaline because I'm filming. So it's like, okay, well my heart rate's already up, so like I may as well film and talk about mental health stuff, because it's gonna kind of stress me and buzz me anyway, so I may as well do it on camera, because filming stresses me anyway. So he said breathing for stress. So you breathe in and you just focus every part of your being on taking that breath in, and you actually become fully aware of your breath, because you know we breathe subconsciously, right? Like our body just does it without us realizing that we're doing it. We don't have to actively say to ourselves, now breathe in and now breathe out. You don't have to say that to yourself. But if something has stressed you, whether you have OCD or whatever that you're going through, if you're stressed about something, they said, okay, you just stop, and whatever it is that you're stressed about, put it out of your mind and just think to yourself, okay, now breathe in. And it was just like, tell yourself, breathe in, and in your head, you breathe all the way in, and you're just breathing No other thought, just breathing to make sure that you keep breathing until you fill your lungs, and then tell yourself and breathe out. And as you're blowing the air out through your nose, you're saying to yourself, breathe out, and you're monitoring your breath and you're making sure it's consistent and you're releasing the air consistently. You're not just going, okay, I breathed out. You're actually actively, cautiously breathing out. And I just realized I'm in the wrong lane and I'm meant to be turning left. And I'm not going to be stressed about it. I'm just going to breathe, bring my heart rate back down, calm down. I'm going to wait for all the cars that are turning left to turn left, and there's a lot of them, so I might not actually be able to. No, I can't. That's okay. It's all right. I'll just find another way. I'll just go straight ahead, pull over, put it in my GPS, and find another way. I'm not going to stress about it. It's fine. They weren't tuning at me, don't worry. So breathing, it centers you. And it's funny because people have said things to me many times, or I've seen it online, or I've heard it on videos or whatever, where it's like, are you stressed? Just breathe. Oh, you have depression? Just breathe. Oh, you're having an anxiety attack? Just breathe. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. But actually, when I tried it, I had watched it in this cognitive therapy video, and just the way that the man described it and explained it, it made perfect sense. And I was like, oh, okay, I will try it. So I waited until a time when I was doing one of my behaviors. So one of my behaviors is counting what I'm doing. So drinking water, I always have to gulp 8 times when I drink water. There's different rules for orange juice, it's 4 times. But for water specifically, it's 8. And I really wanted to get out of the habit of gulping 8 times, just being able to pick up water and just have a sip if I wanted to. But I developed this uncontrollable compulsion that as soon as water touched my lips, I had to go 8 times. So I picked up my water bottle and I went, in my head, I was going 1, 2, and I was like, no. And as I was drinking, I was just focusing on my breathing in and out as I was drinking the water. And my brain could not split in half and focus on my breathing and count at the same time. So every time an intrusive thought or something came along and it stressed me, I focused really hard on my breathing, and I could either think about the thing that was stressing me, or I could think about my breath in and my breath out. And it helped me tremendously. It doesn't help every single time, but hey, it actually does help when I do it right. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, remember breathe, and then I'm breathing, I'm like, it's doing nothing, but I'm not actually like truly focusing on your breath in and your breath out in a steady and controlled manner is completely different, and it's really helped me. And anyway, so that was the whole cognitive behavioral therapy thing, and I actually have no idea why I started talking about that. Can't remember. Oh, I remember, because I was saying I'm going to clean my dove's nest. She doesn't want me to clean it because she's comfortable. It's like how my mum comes and cleans my house and I don't want her to clean it because I'm comfortable. And then now, by just sitting back and breathing while my mum's cleaning, I just put myself in another room and I just don't look. I don't watch her as she cleans a room, because if I'm standing there watching her, I start tightening up in the chest because I'm like, where's she going to put that? No, don't touch that. Don't move that. So I just go into another room and I just calm myself by breathing, and I distract myself with something else, and I tell myself that it's okay that someone else is, cleaning for me. And I come back and it's clean, and I do have like a little bit of a panic attack because I'm like, where are my things? But then I remember they're in this house somewhere. My mum hasn't stolen them, And then my mum will take me on a tour and she'll show me where she's put things. And she's like, okay, darling, I just wanted to show you. Now I folded these and I put them in a pile here. And even though she's mixed up some things that are not supposed to be together, and I start stressing because I'm like, oh my God, mum put some of my own clothes in with the clothes that I'm donating. And now I'm stressed. I'm like, it's all right. Just breathe. Just take your clothes out of that pile and put the donate clothes together and take your clothes upstairs. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. So I'm going to treat my little birdies in a similar fashion. I'm going to take them out of their cage and take their babies out of their cage, and I'm going to clean their cage, and then I'm going to put them back in a nice tidy nest, because those little babies can't be raised in a pile of poo. I hadn't cleaned it yet because when she was sitting on the eggs, it was okay. And I thought I'd be able to change it at least once before the eggs hatched, but then they hatched so quickly. So I'm just driving to a pet supply store to get fresh nesting material and all that sort of thing. And like I said, nothing gets me out of the bed. It's 7:40 in the morning. No, 8:40. My car says 7:40. Daylight savings. You know what? I just realized I'm going to turn my engine off. Wasting fuel. I realized that, so I don't know if you have this in your country. I don't know how things work on the other side of the equator, but we come a point in the year where in New South Wales and a few of the states here in Australia, we set our clocks either back by an hour or forward by an hour. So now Lucy up in Queensland is an hour behind me here. So when she's messaging me at 8 p.m, I'm receiving it and it's 9 p.m. for me. And I had these bad few couple of days, as you guys saw. I wasn't doing so well the past few days. And it dawned on me that my medication alarm goes off at 7 a.m. But because the clocks were put forward, the 7 a.m. on my clock is not actually 7 a.m. according to my internal body clock. So I was actually taking my medication an hour. Now see, this is where it fucks with my brain and I literally cannot even comprehend. I think that our clocks went forward. So me taking my medication at 7 a.m. before the clocks were changed is the equivalent of me taking my medication at 6 a.m. now. Anyway, I did some research and people were like, oh, look, unless it's medication that must be taken at the same time every day, don't worry about the clocks changing. Just keep taking it at the same time according to your clock. So if you take it at 7 a.m. and then when all the time changes, keep taking it at 7 a.m. But I realized that's why, part of why I was so out of it for a few days, because I was taking my medication theoretically 1 hour out of how I've always been taking it. So even though it's 7 a.m. on the clock, my body clock, it was not 7, it was like an hour. I don't know if it was too early or too late because my mind can't comprehend timey-wimey. But anyway, it took a few days for my body to adjust to it. And now I'm still taking it at 7 a.m, but I am accustomed to it now, and it took a few days for my body to normalize that. So I was getting headaches and I was doing strange behaviors again. So I'm like kind of back to normal. Yes, that's why it's, according to my car clock, it was 7:40, which is what my body clock would have been saying, it's 7:40, but actually it's 8:40. So the pet supply store is open. I'm going to drive there, get the pet supplies, and because I'm out and about, I will also go pick up the groceries that I need from Woolworths to make my Cypress breakfast, but I won't make it until after I've cleaned my room and cleaned the bird cage and all that sort of thing. Okay, all right, I'm gonna turn the GPS on and work out where the fuck I'm supposed to go now, because I was supposed to turn left back there. Okay, I'll see you guys at the store. A car just followed me for many kilometers and has pulled into the same pet supply store that I've pulled into, and I'm sitting in the car park and I'm not getting out of my car, and they're sitting in their car and they're not getting out either. I don't like this. I've left my car in drive and I've locked the doors I'm just gonna wait for a bit. Okay, I've been waiting 8 minutes and the person's just gotten out of their car, and now they're going around to their boot. What are they going to pull out of their boot? Okay, he just opened his boot and now he's walking into the store. Alright, well, I'm going to put on a mask and pretend that I'm on the phone. This is a good trick. If I feel uncomfortable, I'll just pretend I'm on the phone. And you know, logic being that if someone is going to do something nefarious, they're less likely to do so if they think that you're talking on the phone. Because if you're talking on the phone, and they try to do something to you, you have theoretically just alerted someone, because whoever was on the phone will have heard whatever you did. So, alright, hang on one sec. Sorry, I'm here now. Just getting out of the car. Oh, they have chickens. There's chickens outside. There's two sort of pens, and there's a whole bunch of, what do you call these? Rhode Island Reds or something? Hello, little girls. Oh, they're so cute. They're so sweet. Hi, girls. They're for sale. Look. Okay, well, I'm just going to head in, and I was thinking of picking up some nesting material. Ah, so cute. They have guinea pigs too. Oh, there's a cat. Hello. There's an orange cat. Okay, so I'm in this. Oh, here we go. Here's some hay. Let me see. This is all for dogs. Oh, good. They've got all the. Oh, the cat's following me. Hi. Hi. Hello. Hello. Hello, kitty cat. Hi. Hello. Oh, you're so sweet. Aren't you cute? Want a scratch? Look at your big tail. Oh, you're so beautiful. Hi. Hello. 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 Alright, sorry. Just looking for hay. Okay, swamp grass is the world famous nesting material for canaries, finches and quails. Ah, that'll be great. That's perfect. Yep, okay. Okay, it's $12. Oh, they've got mung beans. I wonder if I should get some mung beans. Oh, the cat's back. What else? They've got, oh, there's so many. Actually, I might get some stuff for Archie too. I bet there's probably a collector's mix here somewhere. Actually, you know the little red balls in the seed that the birds always grab? Oh look, pigeon mix. Okay, good. It's the red balls, safflower seeds, corn. Yes, okay, I'm gonna get this pigeon mix. Oh, it's only $10 for that bag. That's good. And what else? I wonder, I'm going to come back, I think, because, you know, I'm supposed to be going to Woolies, going to Woolworths, so I think I might come back at a better time. Yeah. Oh, hang on, here we go. There's these wood shavings. Yep, these are the ones that I was hoping to find. Oh my god, this bag is so heavy. I'm going to pull it down my head. Hang on. Hang on, sorry. Thank you. Let's see. Yes, okay, good. These wood shavings are perfect for the nest. And also for sitting underneath the birds while I'm treating them. Okay, so I just got some pigeon mix. I've got this nesting swamp grass, and I've got nesting material. And I'm going to come back at a better time when it's not so busy. And actually, there's some pretty good feeding bowls. Do you think we need feeding bowls? No, but there are mealworms. No, I think I'll just take this for now. Yeah, I'll just take this. Hang on. I'm just at the counter, and the cat is so cute. I'll definitely come back to see this cat. Anyway, I was going to ask you, you know how I've been doing the 30-day challenge thing? I was going to ask about whether you've actually started or not, because I keep getting so close to forgetting to do mine, and then I remember like right at the last second, and then I do it. So, you haven't? Hang on. I'll just pay for this. How are you?
Good.
I've got the bedding, the pigeon mix, and the swamp grass.
There you are.
Let's see. Oh yeah, I do have 30. There you go. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye, cat. Bye-bye. Sorry, I'm just gonna go to the car. One sec. Hang on. Just a sec. Right. Holy fucking shit. That was so weird. Okay, lock the door. Engine on. Let's go. My heart is beating so fast. I don't know if I'm just paranoid, but I like to think I know the difference between something very strange and just a regular human occurrence. The guy sat in his car for ages, and I was sitting in mine just playing on my phone, and then eventually he got out and he opened his boot, and then he went into the shop. So then I did that thing where I was pretending to be on the phone to you guys, and he was walking around very close to me, like very, very close, and then he was just milling by the checkout. He wasn't buying anything, he just kept going over to random items and touching them and looking at them, and then looking up and looking at me, and then he'd walk to another item and just kind of like pretend to be looking. I mean, maybe he was looking at it, but sorry, I'm just looking at my rear view now, because when I left he was still standing by the counter, and then I got in my car and his car was still in the driveway of the place, in the parking lot. I'm just looking to see. I'm gonna take a really long and convoluted way home, which is fine because I had to come quite a long way to go to that place, because that's the only place that sells the stuff that I need. So I'm gonna stop by a Woolworths. I don't see his car anywhere, so I feel okay. But my heart is beating so fast. That was so weird. That's weird, right? Like, I noticed the car behind me ages ago, and I noticed it because it was a Mercedes, and it's a vintage Mercedes, and I was like, oh cool, a vintage Mercedes. Like, and I just made mental note of it, that it pulled out of a driveway and it was driving along behind me. And then I took a turn and I was like, it took a turn. And I turned again, and I turned again, and I turned again. And I was like, what the hell? Like, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm like at a farm stock pet supply store in the middle of nowhere. Why is this car taking every turn that I'm taking? And then it pulled into the pet supply store, and I was like, what the hell? That is weird. That's weird. And then it's just stayed there. Okay, well, I don't see the fancy I'm running this red light. I mean, it's orange. Now it's red. I don't run red lights, but usually I noticed it going orange and I would normally stop, but I just went through. So that way, just in case he's behind me somewhere, he's stuck at that red light now, which gives me enough time to come up here and make this turn, and then I'm safe. Sorry, that's something that my parents drilled into me from a young age, from a very young age, is personal awareness of your surroundings. And my mum and dad have always told me since I was a child, like, you get in the car, you lock the door, if you notice a car following you, pay attention to how many times it takes the turns that you're taking. It's literally been drilled into me since I was a kid, and I know some people haven't been taught in such a way, and some people aren't as observant. You just kind of go about your day and you don't really think twice about who's driving behind you or how long they've been driving behind you. But look, yes, it's could be seen as a bit paranoid, but personally, I'd rather be paranoid than be on a murder podcast. Paranoid or podcast? You decide. Do you want to be paranoid, or do you want Jimmy and James to be laughing about the fact that you died? It's a small town murder joke. If you listen to Small Town Murder, please tell me down below, because actually I noticed someone made in the Discord, they made a true crime channel in the Discord. I was like, yes! Okay, I'm just gonna stop at this. Look, I've just found a Woolworths, so I'm gonna go to this one. And now my car has disappeared in among a whole bunch of other cars, and I feel safe. Okay, I'm gonna have to turn the camera off to get my shopping list, but I'll resume in the store. Guys, he found me. He found me. What the fuck? How did he find me? Three cars down from my car. Okay. Oh my god, I feel physically ill. I didn't realise he came in a different entrance. It's the same guy. Okay. I'm gonna leave my phone recording once again. Alright, so I need cucumber and tomato. Oh my god. Holy shit. No, I'm shaking. Let me explain to you what just happened. Oh my god. You know what, guys? Another little life tip for you, and another one that I learned from my mother. Stare the bastard down. That's one that I learned from my mom, and I don't want to be dramatic, but I think that might have just saved me then. I'm sorry. That's never happened to me before. I've heard stories about people being followed and like... Sorry. I'm not going to cry. I'm fine. My parents have taught me all of this from a very young age, and never in my life have I actually had to kind of like action what they've taught me. But he followed me into the supermarket. He got out of his car, he came into the supermarket, and he picked up a basket, and every aisle I went down, I would take my time, and he would be walking around, sort of milling around at the front of the aisle, and then I'd move into another aisle and I would look, and he walked around the entire shopping centre with an empty basket, and I went to the checkout to pay, and he came to the checkout, and I don't think that he realised I knew he was there, and I went to stand in line at the self-serve, and he put his basket down, the empty basket, and went to walk out past the cash registers, and I turned around and left the line and went back in, and he came back in, and he went up toward the baskets to pick up a basket again, and I stopped. You might have seen in the footage, I just stayed still, and I just looked. I looked him dead in the eyes. I just looked him straight in the face, and he looked at me and made eye contact for a brief second, and then he looked down, and then he left. He left the shop, and I just came out and his car's gone. But I don't understand how he ended up at Woolworths after me. That's really weird. I don't know. The extra paranoid part of me is like, maybe you should check your car and see if he put something on it, but I know he didn't, because I watched him get out of his car after sitting in it for 10 minutes at the pet place, and I watched him open his boot, and then I watched him go in to the store, and I went in, and then I came out and he came out. So that's the only thing making me think that this is all just one big coincidence. But the fact that he walked around with an empty basket and then put it down and then left when I made eye contact with him. But now I'm like, how did he find me at Woolworths? I was looking in my rearview mirror and I couldn't see him following me, unless my eyesight's just that bad that maybe he was just around every corner just a little bit before me. My God, I can't even think straight. I'm gonna do a couple of loops of the block, and yeah, I'm gonna take a really long and convoluted way home. I don't even know what to say. Right, so I drove around the block a couple of times, and then I also left my car down the road because I thought, well, just on the off chance, the paranoid or podcast side of me is saying, don't put the car in your driveway to tell anyone that that's where you live. Well, I'm going to stop and have a sit for a little while and then go back to what I was doing because I'm just a bit shaken. Not stirred. I've just been sitting for ages, waiting to calm down. I was shaking for a really long time and I just didn't feel like filming. So I feel all right now. So I'm going to actually take my photo of the day because Errol's sitting there and he looks so cute. I was just checking him over for lice again with the tweezers, and I have some seeds scattered in front of him and the tweezers are next to him. And he was being so cooperative. And he just looks so cute sitting like this. So I'm just that's gonna be today's photo of the day. Cute. I like that one. I really like that one. I like that, but I like that one more. Yeah, I think I'm gonna give this one a rating. I think I'll probably rate that my favorite. Oh, actually, I like that one too. Yeah, those are cute. I think I like the others though. Oh, that's definitely the best one. Good evening, dear friends. Look, it is Grace.
A dear friend.
A dear friend is here. I thought I would open my parcel and you can see. Oh, actually, I've got a shirt for you.
I feel positive about this.
Okay, what have we got here? Oh, there's a little note. Thank you for purchasing this item from Salvo Store, Mornington. Where's that? The Mornington Peninsula.
Yeah, I also. I don't know.
That's Victoria.
You ordered this from Victoria?
Well, they come from everywhere.
Surely there's a Mornington in Sydney.
No. Scuttle women's size 10 vintage cream shorts, and I paid $19 for them. I think I remember this. I have a distinct memory. Oh.
I could imagine Beck wearing those.
I can imagine you wearing those. Look.
I don't have the legs for it.
Yes, you do. Look at this nice vintage tag. We always love looking at our vintage tags, and I think based on the look of this one, it's from the late 80s, I would say.
With the ladies?
It's from the ladies. There we go. They look really sheer. I can see the camera through this, so I don't have high hopes for my underwear, but I'm gonna put them on. Okay, what are you laughing at?
I'm just trying to imagine, like, my grandma wearing something like, you know, like the style she would wear, but like
I'm pretty sure I've seen photos of Princess Diana wearing shorts like this. It's all going to come down to the styling, and I really don't have it in me after my ordeal earlier today and how much it spooked me. I don't have it in me to do anything to do with styling, but they're actually, I didn't even read what they're made of. They're made of I think it's linen.
Look, honestly, I don't know fabrics, but they don't feel.
Oh, it's polyester, 100% polyester. Well, I like the nice big pockets, and I like the belt holes. I have a pair of white shorts that I thrifted made of thicker material, but they're not this long. I feel positive about the length of these shorts. I don't like anything that's like, it's got to be there or lower. So I do like this. But yeah, once I style them, I will decide whether or not I want to keep them. But anyway, now that I've tried them, zoop, I'm now ready to be comfortable. And I was about to say relax for the evening, but I can't because I haven't tidied up yet. And I have to start tidying up by tidying the babies.
Yay!
So Auntie Grace, you're going to be on babysitting duty. I'm going to bring some little babies in, okay?
Okay, I'm ready.
Have you ever seen a baby bird?
No.
Like a naked squeaking baby bird? They don't have eyes.
What?
You'll see. Alright, Mochi's not going to be happy with me for doing what I'm about to do, but I've got a bowl here with some nice fresh wood chip shavings that I got from the store today, and I'm going to put the babies in that bowl and move them in with Grace. Alright, come here, darling. Come on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Only for a little bit. Oh, look, they're even bigger now than they were earlier. Okay, they're like little jelly beans. Come here. Yeah, I think they must have hatched yesterday, given the size of them. So we're just gonna put them like this. That one's a little bit smaller than this one. Okay, and then I'll get Grace to, oh look, this one's was holding onto a piece of straw. No, don't kick your sister. Okay. All right, and then I'll get Grace, actually, you know what? I'll sit Mochi straight back on top of them so they don't get cold. There you go. There you go. Back on the babies. You got to sit on the babies. Oh, I'm sorry. Please don't be mad. Okay. All right, come with me, Mochi. Let's go see Auntie Grace. Auntie Grace.
Isn't Mochi Dumpling's girlfriend?
Yeah, she is, but she had babies with Steve.
You hussy. Oh my god. They're so ugly. They're cute. They're like guinea fowl. You're like, you're horrific and adorable.
Little
And
babies.
so fragile. How many are there?
There's two. Oh, I have to take a photo actually.
They're like little, you know, all I can think of is like, you know, like the chicken wing that you eat. And this, don't say that.
That's terrible. How dare you?
It's
Do you mean they just look snack sized?
a little. I mean, obviously I wouldn't because that's like fucked up, but oh my god, they're so small. I'm shook.
You're shook.
They're just all the same color.
Nothing but pink.
questions. Yeah.
Let me see the second one. Oh, see, she's sitting on the second one, but the first one's going to get cold,
God.
the silly lady.
They must be so fragile.
You're really not sitting on these babies very well.
Maybe you should demonstrate.
I'm not going to sit on them.
You can sit on Errol.
Oh. Yeah, everyone look at Errol. Look, he's just having a cuppa. He's had a long day and he's just settled down with a cup of tea. These little babies. Beautiful babies.
They're so much smaller than what I thought they'd be.
Please sit on your babies correctly. But don't step on them. Careful, careful. Sit on them properly.
Yeah, that worked well.
Pecked that one. Oh! I'm sorry, Mochi. Okay, I'll leave you. Look, here's your man. Maybe you can help her sit on them? Because she's... No,
oh my God.
No, Steve.
It's like that's a solid pass.
Go on, Steve. Do you... Hey, don't leave. Don't go out to get milk. Please stay.
Oh my God. This is not what was intended.
Here we go. There they are. Go do your thing. So Grace is just going to be chilling with Errol while I commence Tidy Up Thursday. So I thought I'd just give you a tour of the room. So we start here, and let's not talk about outside of the room because that's a whole nother challenge. But I guess the first thing, I shouldn't have my shoes in here. My shoes are supposed to be in the room where all the shoes are. So I'll move those now. And I'm just going to put them in front of the door to that room. And I know that isn't completing the task, but at least it's getting this room clean. All this paper is supposed to be for changing out the bottom of the bird cages or putting underneath the birds if they're sleeping in here, if they're sleeping on the fireplace or if they're sleeping on a coffee table. So really, that should be over at the coffee table. And the coffee table needs to be cleaned, but I find that cleaning I have to basically start in one spot, otherwise I get completely overwhelmed. And then I need to tackle my hoard over here, which is gonna be fun. Maybe I'll start here. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna grab these bags and use them as rubbish bags. So down here I've got medication that should probably not just be sitting on the floor. I've got an empty box of meds that can go. I've got all my empty cookie packets that have just been meals for me, which I should probably stop doing and start eating properly. That'll have to go to the kitchen. And so I spent the rest of the evening tidying up our room, and it took quite some time, but come the end of the night, it was so worth it. I stayed up really late doing this, and I just had to go little bit by little bit because if I stood back and looked around the room, I just got completely overwhelmed. So I just went in sections, and Errol was such a good boy the whole time. I popped him up on the fireplace and he just watched me, and then Dan came up.
It's time.
It's like I used telepathy because I was up here thinking, I really need to go downstairs and get the vacuum cleaner, but I don't want to go downstairs.
It's in the bathroom.
Like this bathroom?
That bathroom.
You're joking.
No, it's been here all along.
And so we sat down and I told Dan about what happened earlier today, and we discussed what we're going to do next and talked about speaking to the police. And then Dan vacuumed the floor while I organised my meds for the week, and I never ended up having my Cyprus breakfast because it was like 11:30 when we finished. But I'll have it for breakfast tomorrow and I'll show you guys how the room looks. So with that, thank you for watching. Love you. Bye. See you tomorrow.